for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
Hey, Jill, congratulations on your son getting into the college of his dreams and with a full scholarship, too. Yes, we are so proud of him. You know, I have to be honest. I'm a bit worried about our daughter getting into college. It's so competitive out there, and I feel overwhelmed with where to start. I completely understand. Listen, I felt the same way, and then I met Dr. Gina of Education Prep Centers. She put a plan in place that helped our son stand out in the admissions process and that gave us a peace of mind for how to create a financial roadmap for his future. Wow, that's great. Sounds like I need to give her a call. Yes, she definitely helped our son find the perfect college, meet all his deadlines, and help us feel less anxious about the whole process. You need to reach out to her. Just check out educationprepcenters.com and set up a complimentary assessment with Dr. Gina. You'll be so glad you did. Education Prep Centers. College admissions made easy.
When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leech Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson in Cleveland, Texas. Leech Brothers has been family-owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
You're listening to JoCo Community Radio.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Reach Across Johnson County segment. Join us live here on Facebook or download the TuneIn Radio app. It is free, where we are live 365 on JoCo Community Radio, the voice across Johnson County, Texas. We are the Reach Council, and our mission is to support safe and healthy choices vital to the well-being of our youth, families, and community. This show will guide you, educate you, and inspire you to be a part of a solution and to reach out and help make a difference in our communities. What began as a local movement in the city of Midlothian grew to include programs throughout Ellis County within only a few years and eventually expanded to neighboring Johnson County, Texas. Tonight, our topic is going to be Clearfork Academy, and before we introduce our special guests, we'll just go ahead and introduce our co-hosts tonight. Starting with myself, my name is Ashley Vasquez, and I am the Reach Across Johnson County Coalition Coordinator.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nikki Bowman. I'm the Drug-Free Communities Coordinator for Reach Across Johnson County.
Hey, everybody. This is Emily Stuffelby, and I am the COVID Project Coordinator for Johnson County.
And welcome, Mindy Ford. We are so excited to have you. Mindy Ford is very proud to say that she was born and raised a Fort Worth girl. Mindy has been an LVN since 2005 and started with the Clearfork family as a part-time nurse. She immediately fell in love with the mission and programming, and when the opportunity came to be able to share the great things happening at Clearfork, she jumped at the opportunity to move to the business development team. She has 2 sweet kiddos, and they live in the Eagle Mountain Lake area. So welcome, Mindy.
Thank you.
I guess we'll just go ahead and start off with, how did the vision of Clearfork start?
Yeah, so our CEO Austin Davis was working at a adult facility. He has his LCDC, LPC.
Can you tell us what first I want to ask what LVN is, because I know that's what Ashley introduced you in.
Yes, so LVN is a licensed vocational nurse.
Okay.
Yep.
And what does that mean exactly?
So it's just a form of nursing. You don't necessarily have to have a registered nurse license in Texas or anywhere. LVNs, you're going to see them across the board, but you don't necessarily know that that's what their title is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a type of nurse.
I'm just trying to learn all the different
It's
today.
It's a lot of initials.
It is.
So our founder Austin was working as a professional counselor at an adult facility, and he saw that there was a need, really. These people that were coming to that facility had, mounds and mounds of trauma, and he realized and recognized pretty quickly that if we could just stop it before they get to adulthood, then we can make a difference. So that's kind of how the whole Clearfork vision started.
I seriously love it.
Me
Just
too.
especially with everything that the world's going through, to start, at the beginning, before they're adults and their brain is kind of more molded to have to be there, because it's a lot harder to reverse it than it is to kind of change its course.
Yep.
Where'd the name come from?
So the name came from, there is literally a fork in the road. And it's so funny because we were around before Clearfork, the shopping center.
So, today, because we went to, listeners, we went and got to visit Clearfork Academy today, and the Clearfork shop. It's not even shopping center.
It's Clearfork shopping.
Is it shop?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if that was if it was Clearfork shopping center.
There is a huge Clearfork with like Neiman's.
But that's and that's where I love. It's so fun to go, and that's what popped up. Yeah, no, that wasn't it. I'm like, I kept putting in Cleburne, but I think we found it like on Google, not on the maps. It's not, because I guess, how long have y'all been open?
So the girls' facility has been open since we took our first couple girls April 29th, I believe. The boys' facility at Eagle Mountain Lake has been around a little bit longer, so we're going into our 5th year with the boys' facility.
For people who don't know what this facility is, can you kind of just explain what it is?
Absolutely. So we are a residential treatment facility. We treat adolescents that have substance abuse and co-occurring mental health struggles. So 13 to 17 is our what we can take, and it's a 90-day program, and it's so I have to veer off a little bit. So as a nurse, what made me get into wanting to the business development side of things is I would do their intake. I would do the boys' intake, and I would see them, and they would look just like a shell of a person. And then to get to see them 90 days later, they look like completely different, kiddos. So
that kind of gave you
incredible.
A purpose to say,
100%.
okay, I'm ready to
100%.
advocate
everyone
for this.
needs to know about Clearfork.
Awesome.
We're known in the community, but at the same time, we're still kind of new. We're still kind of a baby company.
So, Mindy was saying that the Fort Worth location, or is it Fort Worth? Right.
Yes.
Eagle Mountain.
So Eagle Mountain Lake, and then
has been around about 5 years. So now they have a new location in Cleburne. So you can tell us about how many acres, where it is, and all about it.
Yes. So our boys facility is on about 34 acres. And it just overlooks, it's gorgeous. So anyone that's listening and wants to come tour it, please get my information. So we're right on the hill of Eagle Mountain Lake. Our girls facility, as you guys saw, is absolutely gorgeous. It sits on about 14 acres here in Cleburne.
Yes, and we got
the best part was the little pond.
Isn't it great?
It was so peaceful and beautiful.
I loved all of it, but that's because I like being in the country.
It was very
beautiful.
peaceful.
Mm-hmm. And the goose.
Yes,
Mabel
So
the goose.
There's a goose at the location in Cleburne, guys, and her name is Mabel. Is she a female? Do we know? Okay. That's funny. Okay, Mabel. Okay, so Mindy explained that the ages are, you said 14 to 17?
13 to 17. So we can take 18 kind of on a case-by-case basis, just due to the difference between a 13-year-old and an 18-year-old. So the 18-year-old does have to be still in high school. And that's really, we got to make sure that we're the right fit for that kiddo.
So I would like us to kind of go into detail about the programs and what makes Clearfork just stand out.
So for me, what makes Clearfork, what differentiates us between other RTCs, and when I say RTC, I mean Residential Treatment Center. I didn't know what any of these initials were until I started.
Thank you so much.
So
today, some of it, I was just like, I don't want to be the person that's like,
yeah.
So thank you.
Absolutely. So we are, one thing that I'm super, super proud of, because I have been a part of it, is we have a 3-day family intensive. So those 3 days, families come onto campus, and these families are, we serve the kids of this area, but we've had kiddos from Puerto Rico. We've had kiddos from all over the United States, just because what we're doing is so different than what everybody else is doing. And our success rate is really, really great if we follow that with the aftercare and stuff. But so the 3-day family intensive, families come in, and for the first half a day, they're just with each other. So like, I'm talking to you about what's going on with your kiddo, and you're like, oh, wow, I did. Because we feel so alone if we're a parent.
Where do the parents stay? Do they, like, I guess, get a hotel in the area, and then they just come in each day for whatever y'all have planned for them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's plenty of, there's lots of lodging around. So the first day is kind of just, accepting that, like, this is what's going on. We have found that if a kiddo is going to be successful, we're treating the whole family. We're not just treating the kiddo, so
if more parents would understand that.
I know. So so the first day is really kind of just talking with each other and partners with, other people who are going through the same thing.
Is the child a part of that as well, or is it just the parents and you guys?
So the first day, the child is not a part of it.
Okay.
When they get there. So like check-ins like at 10, they will have dinner together, and then the boys go back, and the girls will go back to their dorm, if you will. And then parents leave. The next day, it's more intensive. So we're doing trust activities. We are doing, we do this activity with a mask, and it's you have a mask, and you kind of write all the things that you have been portraying yourself as. So it's emotional for staff. It's emotional for the boys. It's emotional for parents. But it's incredible to see these parents come in, and they are just at their wits' end, and they're scared, and they're worried. And then then by the 3rd day, we're up doing trust exercises, and that there is nothing more satisfying than to see a grandmother up there with her, grandson, or a mom up there that they've had, problems, or a dad up there that they've, maybe dad's been estranged from his kiddo's life. And that's where you kind of work all that stuff out. So that is definitely, I've got chill bumps. That's definitely that's definitely what sets us apart. But we also have a really,
I just love that, because it almost makes the kids understand you're here for a reason. We care.
Yeah, that support.
Yeah.
Not we're just dropping you off and hope you figure it out, son, or daughter.
It's more, I feel like it would be more motivating to have your family there at that beginning rather than just being dropped off. Then it's like, well, what's the point? Like, they have little motivation to get better for themselves.
Can I ask how the I guess the numbers are for parents to actually come and do that? Do y'all require parents to do that?
We
Or
highly,
family?
we are very adamant about the fact that we have to do this and that we need them to come. We can't force anyone to come. But you know, so the kiddos they've got an individual therapist, they're going to have family therapy. And so aside from the kiddo, the therapists are also talking to the family. Because again, this is not just a kid problem. This is a family. This is going back generations. This is going back, you know, dad's dad was an alcoholic, or mom's mom was, you know, it goes across the board. So
Oh yeah.
I would say, I don't have the number off of my top of my head. I would say that we have at least 85 to 90% involvement.
Amazing.
That's really good.
Yep.
So what if a child is coming in and they're detoxing? What would that look like for that first initial days with the parent interaction? Would that wait?
So parent,
like the involvement of the parents of the.
So yeah, so there's going to be like, so when the parents drop off their kiddos, we separate them, and then family goes and talks with the case manager and gets all the information they need to. If a kiddo needs detox, a lot of times they don't need detox. It just depends on what substance they're coming off of. We do have 24-hour nursing on site. So if there is a need for a true detox, we have the ability to do that. The kids get a phone call with parents within 7 days. We do like a blackout period, just because there's a lot going on, you know, and we need to kind of separate and just focus on what, you know, treatment, what we're doing. Cause there's, you know, they're not, no one is super excited saying, I can't wait to go to treatment. So we do have like a blackout period where they don't contact families. That being said, our therapist contact the families. So as soon as a kiddo gets there, they get a therapist assigned to them, the family therapist, they've got a caseworker, our director of clinical services, and our milieu manager are also very much involved in what's going on. So we don't just leave, you know, a mom in St. Louis without knowing whether or not her kiddo's okay.
Can you walk us through maybe the programs or what a day looks like for the kids? I know it's kind of different as they transition through the program.
Yes. So we are very much so if it's during the school year, the boys get up at, and I say boys because the girls, it's a new facility. So
right. So they don't really have school yet.
They do. I mean, but yes. So in the summer, so let's just go through like the fall. So a normal day in the fall would look like that the kiddos get up and they get their morning med pass. The nurse asks them a series of questions to kind of see how they're feeling as far as, you know, your anxiety level, your depression level, you know, anything going on. And then they get their morning medications, and then they go to school from 8 to 12. From there, they go to lunch, and then the afternoon is either group therapy, or we're not a lockdown facility or a wilderness facility. We're an outdoor facility. So we are very much of the mindset that being outside helps with the whole, you know, well-being and the whole getting better aspect. So they spend a lot of time outside. And then they've got lunch, and we do have groups. And then they also they'll meet with their therapist once a week, and then they'll meet with the family therapist as well. And then if there's something going on, then our therapists are great about also, you know, pulling them aside and talking with them. And so is our nursing staff. And the recovery coaches are probably the backbone of our whole programming, because they're with them, you know, morning to night.
I had a question. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, so you said family therapy and individual therapy. Is family therapy where the family's coming in weekly and that's all? Can you kind of explain what the difference is on that?
Because we have kids that come from all over the United States, like I said, Puerto Rico, the family sessions are done via Zoom.
Okay.
The families do have the opportunity, if they're local or if they want to drive or they want to fly in, they do have access to, we have family visitation every Sunday, once a week.
Okay.
And that gives them 3 hours. If they're close enough to where they can come, or again, we've had families that drove, you know, from New Mexico trying to, you know, because they wanted to see and we encourage that.
No, I love that. And I think it's so important that y'all do that. You said weekly, that the parents can not only visit, but then they also have an additional family therapy if they want to be a part of that as well.
Yes. So they have to sign a parent contract. So part of the parent contract is, let's say that there is something that happens at Clearfork. They're teenagers. They're going to sometimes, act up. So what we are working really hard on is getting that parent contract to where, okay, Timmy can't come to treatment and destruct property without there being some sort of, punishment at home as well. So that is something that so we're
working
very
together.
100%. We know that we've got to have, for the success of the kid, we've got to have them.
Well, that way the parents aren't the bad guy and y'all aren't. Y'all are working together and they see that, because otherwise they're going to be playing it all against.
It helps with boundaries, and it's not my fault. Like, this is what we signed, so it's a good thing.
Can you tell us the goals for the like, what is y'all's main goal at the end of this for that patient?
That we leave them with a new legacy, that we change the trajectory of if they're going down the wrong path. We want to, it's that Clearfork, that fork in the road. That's where awesome. You can go this way, or you can go that way. We want to counsel them and move them over to the right way. We also have a very, very warm handoff with our alumni program. So just because, you leave us, we have an amazing alumni coordinator, Mike Carter, who's been there from almost the beginning, and he is constantly reaching out to the parents. How is so-and-so doing? So it's
like a follow-up.
It's a super, super warm handoff. So it is a follow-up, but I would go even a step further and say that we will be as active in the aftercare as the family will allow us to be.
Okay.
Can you tell us about how y'all's weeks revolve around y'all's core values and what those core values are?
Yes. So we have a 7-week program. It's hustle and fun. They are centered around biblical verses. We are a Christ centered facility. We take all kinds of, kiddos. We do ask them to be respectful during chapel and during church, but we take kiddos across the board. So hustle is honor, unity, sacrifice, transparency, legacy, excellence, and then fun. So, and each one of those letters and each one of those core values mean something different. So during unity, that's when we have the family intensive. During honor, that's when the boys are and girls are, we have them like rewrite their story, So like, yes, I've been doing drugs for 4 years, and I'm on probation. We give them the opportunity to rewrite their story. So like, whatever's happened in the past doesn't have to be your future. And again, it goes back to that clear fork in the road, and we just are trying to guide them. We want to leave them better than we found them. And we want them. And so we also, the best thing ever is when they come back and they talk to our boys and our girls. I'm sure once the girls' facility is.
You mean like as they graduated, they can come back and kind of be like, not mentors, but just kind of let them know their story.
We have Saturday. We've got Saturday speakers, and depending upon how far they are in their sobriety, they are given the opportunity to. So it's not just like we've got like an old guy talking to our kids on Saturday. They're actually kiddos who have been where these kids have been.
That's awesome. Yeah. It gives them a purpose.
It does.
To kind of pay it forward.
It does.
I know this is a silly question.
Nothing is silly.
Okay. Driving into your facility, you had the core values on signs, and they had different animals. Are those related to the verses that y'all's program, the core values, are
based off of?
Based off of, yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Me either.
I was like, there's so many animals. What are they? Or were they? I mean,
was it random?
The fox was fun fox. I am not 100. I know that they're specific to Bible verses.
Okay.
And I could probably correlate that to the animal that was that's on there.
That's okay.
The
You
Fun
don't have
Fox.
to know. I
Fun
just
Fox.
noticed that each one had an animal,
Yes.
and I was like,
I did not notice that.
Yes.
She's observant.
Leave it to her.
That's awesome.
I don't even remember what
I'm
I was
like-
looking at. Oh, can you kind of go into why the faith-based programming is important to y'all to keep that? Like, what made y'all go forward with the faith-based?
So yes, that goes back to Austin, our CEO. We are unapologetically
I love it.
followers of Christ, and we have done a really, really good job with correlating that into our programming.
Mhm.
Like one of the best things that we ever get to see is we'll have baptisms.
Oh wow.
You know,
So
once
do y'all
or
have
twice.
a Clearfork pastor, or how does church and chapel look like?
We have well, we've got several that are
that kind of come in.
Well, they're like either they're a recovery coach, or they're working
okay.
in the kitchen, and they
Oh,
also
that's-
happen to be,
mhm.
pastors. Everyone who is serving at Clearfork, they're there because God put them there.
I love that.
It took me forever to even apply for the job because I was like, I don't want to go to Clearfork all the way over off of, over here
Mhm.
or Chisholm Trail. And finally God was like, I kept seeing it. So I was like, okay, well, let me just look at it. It's literally 5 miles from my house.
What?
Yes. So it's
Can
like
you
a
go
total
into
God
that
thing.
and tell where that? I don't think we've talked about the location, have we? Did we say where it was in Cleveland?
Well, I'm talking about the one that's in Fort Worth.
Oh,
but yes, the
okay.
Cleburne, the facility in Cleburne is off of Farm FM4, super close. How I got to Clearfork.
Oh,
is
okay. So you
through-
started at that.
I
all
did.
right.
I started a year ago, just as I had been in nursing administration, and I was through COVID, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore, and so I then was just looking for something part time, and literally within like a month, I was like, okay, I'm a lifer here. So, and we all, the great thing is we all have our own story as to how we got there. So we're all the core values not only dictate what our programming is, but it also dictates who we hire and our
That's so important.
our evaluations. And they've worked very, very hard to make sure that they've got the right. You have to be of the right, the heart
Mhm, mhm.
to do this with these kiddos.
Yes, it's so important because it can affect and change the whole team just with someone that doesn't have the same purpose or reason to be there.
Yeah.
That's great. I love how you felt God calling you, and
Oh,
sometimes He's pretty persistent.
I'm not the only one. Yeah, that's
really.
Again, there's multiple stories. Yeah, so it's definitely we're where we're supposed to be. So I feel very blessed.
How many employees are there? Do you know? I was just wondering because it's like the second one's new, so I didn't know. Like y'all seem like y'all are a pretty small knit family, but
60
okay, so y'all are pretty big,
80,
really.
yeah.
That's big.
across the board, from grounds to therapists to, I'd say we're close to 100. I feel confident saying close to 100.
That's awesome. I had something. Oh, can you tell us about the different activities? Like, what are some fun things that you guys do? Or tell us about Fun Week.
Yes. So Fun Week is just what it's meant to say. It's fun. So that's when we are focusing on more therapy related to doing amazing fun things. So it's not like they're not in groups. They're not having to, they don't realize that they're getting therapy because we're doing water slides or we're going paintball or we're doing other activities, but they're still getting therapy. It looks a little bit different. We have the ropes course. We have a rock climbing wall.
So will the Girls Center get all of this?
That's the plan. And it may look different because like the girls facility,
we're going to commercial break, but this is perfect because when we get back, we can talk more about that.
Awesome.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feathershare Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair, the world's lightest wheelchair, is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, simply go to tuneinjoco.com to choose where and how. The Joco Community Radio app is now available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more on jococommunityradio.com. This episode and more is brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep, Nona Reed, at 844-TEX-HAIL or 844-839-4245.
Okay, Mindy, so you were talking about Fun Week.
Yes.
You want to pick up where you left off?
Yes. So we have, so Fun Week, we're depending upon what time of the year it is. When I started, we had a water slide, and it's therapy through fun. These kids have been through a lot, and
they were not
a lot of the weeks are intensive, but that's what has to happen for them to really kind of face those underlying issues, because we know that drugs are just a segue. They're not, most of these kids have true trauma, and they've got true mental health situations. And so we spend a lot of time trying to get to that surface and trying to get to that core of why are you why is this your coping mechanism? Fun Week is just a week where we're just having fun. I mean, it's again, whether it's the girls are going to do laser tag, or they're going bowling, and the boys are, getting to shoot their therapist with paint guns, it's just across the board Fun Week. We also, so the great thing about, and we'll have the same thing at Cleburne with Eagle Mountain, we can do the one-on-one therapy. We're right there on Eagle Mountain Lake. So they can go and if a therapist is needing to have like that one-on-one, in a like outside of the facility, they can go fishing. We're right there on Eagle Mountain Lake. We've got bikes, we've got trails. The great thing is too, when they graduate, if a kiddo finishes, and I don't know if you guys saw in your little bags, but each of you should have gotten like a bracelet that had one of our core values on it. So when they graduate, if they complete the 13-week program and they have met all the expectations and they've met all of the requirements, then we do a basically it's a hike, and they pick who they want to be at the different spots, and they walk, and if they have not received the that particular bracelet, then they receive it, and that's like a huge thing. So it's not just like, okay, congratulations, you finished. Like we are very intentional with everything that we do for these kiddos.
Yeah, and to kind of celebrate the fact that they finished. Yeah.
Yes.
So for Fun Week, do the kiddos get excited about this? Is it something that's known, or is it a surprise?
Depends on when they come into the to the facility. We don't. I mean, our core values are all over the place, and so we're very, you can look at, but I don't know that they necessarily know what happens during Fun Week. The program is 7 weeks, and we find that they do the best if they're there for 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have a duplicate week at some point. But once they figure out like Fun Week, they're like, wow, this is awesome.
So they're doing those activities the entire week.
The entire week.
That's awesome.
There is no,
I want to
you can come. We've got a high-low course. We've got a catwalk. We've got a rock wall. A rock climbing wall. We've got an obstacle course. Y'all come.
Sounds so fun.
Go against the boys.
So we did a tour today of Cleburne location, and Mindy explained that the way that the programs rotate is there's not, like, say you're starting, they don't put you immediately at a certain week one. You just kind of go into wherever they're at. So some of the kids do get to experience Fun Week twice. Mm-hmm. Do kids ever stay more than 90 days?
They can.
Okay.
Depending upon the circumstance.
Well, speaking of that, I guess, can you tell us kind of what type of kids you guys are usually taking, what that kind of looks like? I'm sure they're all different, but just so people can understand.
Yes. So our, I hate to even say like ideal kid, but the kiddos that we have had the most success with our license is substance abuse primary. They can have co-occurring mental health diagnosis. So as long as they are not actively suicidal or homicidal, and as long as they don't have, and this goes across the board from the girls to the boys, eating disorders that are too hard to manage with regards to they need a feeding tube, or there's a chance that they're going to need a feeding tube, because we just don't have the capability of doing that.
Okay. So I guess they don't have to have substance. It could be just depression that they're coming in.
Substance abuse primary. So
it is substance.
Yes,
okay.
yes,
so
ma'am.
that is one of the, okay.
Yes. We can treat the mental health aspect of it, but we are not we're substance abuse. That is what our,
focus.
That's our treatment. Yes.
Is it like all substances?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's not like any ones that y'all won't see or.
No, absolutely. Okay. Yes, absolutely. It's all substances. And we have the ability, again, to do a full medical detox if we need to. Very rarely will you have a kid that needs that, but it does happen. In which case we've got nursing that's 24 hours across the, around the clock. If a kiddo comes in that needs detox, they are meeting virtually or in person once a day with a medical, like a nurse practitioner or a psychiatrist. They're seeing someone on top of the nurses every day until they are deemed safe enough to join what we call our milieu, which is just going to the next house.
I want to talk a little bit about how y'all went to the Cleburne location. Like you said that Austin was recognizing that y'all were having to turn around a lot of females and that. So can you kind of tell me how God's plan kind of came into?
Yes. So we have, the boys facility's been around for 5 years. And one of the things that Austin has been very passionate about is the fact that we're having to turn away we're getting so many calls for girls
Mhm.
because as few RTCs or resident treatment facilities there are for boys, there's even fewer for girls.
I wonder how many there are. Do you know?
So I know of off the top of my head, it's us, and then there's one. There's not very many
in Texas or nationwide.
I don't know about nationwide.
Okay,
it's just there, but they're also.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, it is, but I think that that has to do with more of like the girls that are coming into the facility have a whole different set of problems than the boys, that are going to the facility. So with the girls, we have to worry about sex trafficking. We have to worry about, trauma in that regard. Whereas, they do have the substance abuse, but they're two totally separate, how you got here, if you will.
So I noticed today that all the staff at the girls' location are females. That's probably the rule, or does it can be males as well?
It can be males.
Okay.
Yes.
I just didn't see any male therapist or anything. That's what I was wondering.
Yes.
And I thought, well, maybe there's a reason.
Well, and again, that kind of goes back to we put staff members where they feel led to serve.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we've got males, we've got female recovery coaches. That's what we call I guess another word for them would be mental health techs. That's what we call our recovery coaches. So we've got we've got girl recovery coaches at the boys facility, and we've got.
How did y'all get the Cleburne location? Was it donated? How did that dream and that? I mean, it's a beautiful property. How did that become into, I guess, like just become Clearfork for what is it? Clearfork Academy? Does it say girls in it?
I don't think it says. So we want to make sure that we are using the same verbiage across the board. So our t-shirts look different. Whereas like we've got like the Clearfork, just the regular Clearfork t-shirt. And then we've got the girls. We've got amazing support behind us. So as far as how we got to Cleburne, I don't know the exact details other than it was a perfect location, and
it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
I just didn't know how. I was wondering like the story of whoever came to you guys and was like, this location needs to be where
that is all Austin. That is all Austin and his team. Again, we're very fortunate to have him as our visionary leader.
That's amazing. Can we talk a little bit? Okay, so we talked, I guess, about the check-in. Did we get into that about how they get referred to you guys, and then what insurance, or if there's any kind of sliding scale, what does that look like? I mean, I know that's a few questions.
Yeah. So we're in network we're working to be in network with multiple insurance companies. The only insurance company that we cannot take is Medicaid. Okay. Other than that, it's so hard to say because it changes daily. I don't even want to tell you that we can take this insurance because tomorrow we may not be able to, and then tomorrow we could take like 5 other ones.
I think that's kind of where
that's like medical across the board. So we will work tirelessly with any insurance that we can.
So the children or the youth that come to your facility, they have to have insurance.
They can be cash pay.
Okay. Is there sliding scales on the cash pay, or is it like a set price?
We do have scholarships.
Okay.
That being said, it depends on
the situation.
Yes. Well, our admissions team is amazing. Whatever we can do to get the kiddo in, if they're a fit for us, we will jump through whatever hoops we possibly can to. It doesn't always work, but we try really hard.
I know y'all's hands are tied with how everything is whenever it comes to just insurance and working with them. Can you tell us, like, I don't think we discussed, so say a parent's listening. Okay. What are the first steps, and then what does that look like from who they call to where they need, what it'll then look like?
Yes. So for any parent that's potentially it's summertime, right? So, kids are out of school. And so parents are possibly seeing that kiddo more than they would technically, through the school year. You're going to see some differences. So typically they are not as interested in what, they were before. They're sleeping more. They're more isolated. They're running away. They're being more disrespectful than they've been in the past. They're refusing to go to church. You just, as a parent, you kind of have an inkling. And then obviously, we go and we check their room and we see that there's paraphernalia. And we have a 24-hour admissions program. So we're on, and I'll get you the website, but you just, Google clearforkacademy.com. It will take you right to a chat. Obviously you've got my card as well, but we will admit 24 hours a day.
Do they have to get like a doctor's referral or anything?
No.
Okay.
No. And so part of so how we know if a kiddo is you may think that, that your child is just, smoking a little marijuana, but then they come to us. So part of the intake process on our end is they're going to do a drug test, and that's going to give us an indication of whether or not a kid needs detox, because they may, I just smoke, a little, but it's much more than that. So fentanyl is a huge problem, and it's scary, and
it is so scary. So y'all are seeing that.
We are. And so the two, fentanyl and alcohol will require
those are
typically
the top
substances. Top substance is going to be marijuana, but as far as like needing that higher acuity detox, and that's why we do the drug test. We're not doing it because we are judging. We need to know what you've taken,
what avenue
so
to
that
take
we
from
know that whether or not you're going to, in 24 hours, you're going to withdraw, and then you could be in serious trouble, because those drugs are so hard to withdraw from.
So a parent would go, they would do the online chat.
Or call us.
Or call you guys. Yes. And then what happens from there?
So then we do our admissions team does a verification of benefits.
Okay.
And then also we want to make sure that we're the right fit. So we're going to ask questions. We're going to, find out what's been going on. We're going to make sure that the kiddo is not violent. We're not a lockdown facility, and we need to make sure that the kiddos that we take don't require that. So if you've run away and there's some kids that are not a fit for us. The great thing about that, there's nothing great about that, but the thing about that is that's when the business team can step in and then find placement for them. So we don't just, you call us and you want to get your kiddo in, and we say he's not a fit for us or she's not a fit for us. Sorry about your luck. No, the business development team then takes over and tries to find community partners to help that placement. So we don't just leave anybody out there in the cold.
How would you deal with, say, a non-compliant teen? Like if they just don't want to be there, they don't want to go to therapy, but their parents and y'all obviously know that they have some issues, but they don't want to get better. What do you do then?
It depends on the severity. So, if a kiddo has been prescribed medication, a mood stabilizer, because they need that and they're refusing that medication, that's going to be a problem. Also, if they're refusing to, we'll try, we'll keep, we will do change of face, and we will, we've got some amazing staff members that, that kiddo will not talk to anybody but that staff member. So there's a lot of people that are at the facility who have had, whereas they nobody else could get through to them, but then they can. So we've got a variety of people. You do have to be, you have to be compliant in your, in your treatment. You have to want to
get better.
Yeah.
So a lot of teens and adults too don't think that marijuana is addictive. How do y'all respond with that answer, or to try to educate youth, especially since that is one of the more substances that y'all are seeing?
So it's illegal.
Okay.
And while that it's illegal, that's first and foremost. It is a, majority. I don't have numbers off the top of my head. I'm pulling this, but I would say 85 to 90% of people who start using drugs, you start with marijuana first. So it is truly a gateway drug. It can make you also very, lethargic, and you lose interest in everything. And so it can wreck your life like that as well.
What do y'all, I guess you kind of explained it, but so what do youth that come in that have an addiction to marijuana, what does that look like? So I guess you're seeing that they're lethargic. Is is it this? I mean, I guess.
I mean, we've got kids that come in that are high, and but but that's the parents see there's something going on.
Right.
They see that stark difference. Like, there's probably several kiddos that we've had that were, potentially going to be D1 athletes if they continued in their field. And they, for whatever happened, something happened, and they just went from this is where they were going and they were going to be a scholarship, athlete to now we can't get them up and it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So
do y'all keep the kids together like by substance or fentanyls with marijuana?
No, once they detox, so most kids don't need detox. So you just go, you have your medical intake, the nurse sees you, you do your drug test, you kind of go over like the what to expect. And then you join what we call the milieu, which is the other, the boys or the girls. Once, if someone needs detox, then they're going to stay up at a different house with 24-hour nursing and then a recovery coach there as well. So no one is going to be actively detoxing with the group of, and once you're detoxed, it doesn't matter what your your drug of choice, DOC drug of choice is, because you've been detoxed.
Now we know what DOC means.
There you go. DOC.
I know that at the, what is it called? At the tour, they were saying that the staff to, I guess, student, because I'm not sure what to call them, ratio, is actually pretty, really good.
Yes. So we are 8-1 is our legality ratio at the girls' facility. We're even more than that. But yeah, so our ratio is 8-1.
Any restrictions on bringing items in whenever they're checking in?
Yes. So no alcohol based. You'd be amazed that there's alcohol in toothpaste. So nothing. So our recovery coaches go through each and every item that a kiddo brings in to make sure that there's nothing that is not, they can't have. So they can't have drawstrings in their shorts. They can't have.
Is that because it's like they could hurt them? Okay.
They can't have, so they've got tennis shoes, but their tennis shoes are kept separately and they wear slides. So if they don't have slides, then we've got slides, or they wear Crocs or some sort of, non issue shoe, if you will. And then, we make sure that they don't have, anything that is super, super inappropriate on their t-shirts or, but.
Okay.
I know at the new girls facility, so you said that y'all just got girls in April, like this past April? Okay, that's really soon. But y'all are building it up to have, I know you had like a little, kind of like a barn, and y'all were hoping to have some horses to have equine therapy and things like that.
Yes. So our boys facility, they go off campus to have equine therapy. And that's been, I was like, what is equine therapy? It's amazing. The girls facility has the capability of having that on campus. And so they are working towards that. Also, so with the boys, we focus more on like outdoor activities, basketball, football, stuff like that. With the girls, it's more like yoga and health and wellness and just kind of the Zen aspect of it. But yes, so it's really, the possibilities are endless.
Explain to us kind of what it is. Like what makes it's, I don't know. Tell me what I don't understand what it is.
So equine therapy is, they are actually utilizing the horse for therapeutic reasons. So there's paint that they can paint the horse with. It's not what you would think of with regards to like, you would think like we're riding the horse. It's not riding the horse. It is using the horse as a almost like a service animal, if you will. And they really, really enjoy it. It's, a lot of them are like, why are we doing this? But then I would say that they are, they get more out of that type of therapy than, some of the
Isn't
other
it
ones.
amazing how animals can just
Yes.
provide that
Yes.
sense of, I don't know.
If we could just get the
Yeah.
goose, Mabel. If we could turn Mabel, the goose at
Does
Clearfork
she let
Girls.
anybody touch her?
I don't think so. I don't think
I know
so.
that we were thinking about it today.
Do y'all do any kind of gardening? You know,
We
gardening's
do.
really
So we
big
do at
right
the
now.
boys. Yes, at the boys facility, we have a garden that they tend to. Again, that's where we've got all these different possibilities with regards to therapeutic activities.
I love that.
And
Mm-hmm.
so depending upon and we call the group of boys, group of girls, our milieu. That's who we've got, right then and there.
Mhm.
Depending upon the group of kiddos that we have, there's lots of things that we can do that we wouldn't necessarily do with another group of kiddos in that, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yes, we do have the ability. We have a huge garden in the Fort Worth campus. And it's really fun for them to, the ones who that reaches them, because it's all about reaching the kiddo, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about, like, if we need to go fishing, or if we need to just walk across walk on this hiking trail, or we need to tend to the we've got dogs that have taken residence up at the boys facility. It's just it's individualized,
Mhm.
but it's also as a group. If
We have 3 minutes left, so I just thought of a few questions.
Oh,
that
awesome.
I'm like, I know we talked about aftercare and kind of the
Yes.
mentors aspect, but I know that they get to transition from the weeks, and then they get to kind of start learning their what were we saying
The
earlier?
life skills.
Yeah, the life skills
Yes.
kind of thing. So that entails laundry and cooking. Was it cooking?
So that's gonna be different at the girls' facility with the boys' facility. So the boys' facility has a point system, and if they do everything that they're supposed to do, then they move up. And then so it's a really big deal to go from, like, you guys, to give you an example, to go from like the barn or the retreat where we were at the beginning
Uh-huh.
of the
Uh-huh.
tour to the big White House
Mhm.
at the end of our tour. So that's what they want to end up at.
It's kind of like when a child's in NICU and they're trying to
Exactly.
get down the hallway
Exactly.
to the graduation.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
And there's more. You guys saw the media room that we have at the summit. We don't have that so with that, it's a rewards
Mhm.
point based system. But yes, they are going to have more responsibilities, and that's just us trying to.
And they could get there earlier than, like, so say, are they ready at week 2 or 3, or does it have to be a certain time?
Typically you would not be ready for that transition, because we don't want to do it too soon.
Okay.
Because like the first month, first 6 weeks, they're still trying to
Mhm.
like adjust
Yeah.
to just
Being
be
there.
in here, and not where, working through that anger, working through the confusion, working through, I don't want to be here. And so, but it's a really, really big deal when they get to
there.
move.
Yes.
And that's, you have to move from the retreat or from the ridge to the summit house to be eligible for graduation.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's something to look forward
And you
to.
said
Exactly.
that they're there so that they can kind of practice being back into the real world.
Life skills, yes.
Yeah.
So some of these kiddos, they've never had to wash their clothes, or they don't. So yeah, so we don't force them to like do deep cleaning, but they are expected to clean up their house.
Yeah.
So
Taking pride in what they have.
I have appreciated you coming on so much today. Is there anything that Reach can do, and hopefully it doesn't cut us off, for you guys? And I know that y'all are coming to our coalition meeting in June, or it's now June today.
Yes.
But it's ending. But we will see you there.
Awesome.
And anybody come to our coalition meeting coming up, and y'all can meet Clearfork.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog.
I'm Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog. When I get to hankering for a hot dog, I go to Clearfork, Texas. Just a couple blocks off the square, they got Loafing Dog. They got the Neely Dog.